When you was running for office, a lot of outside money came here in Baltimore. Your money, you didn't get all your money from Baltimore. Clem Classic didn't get her money from Baltimore. I'm a Republican, and I know where money come from in the city. So, like I said, I'm just riding around, and I just happened to run up on you. And I asked you before about ending the war on drugs to address the violence in Baltimore, and you updated the question. It's a simple question, yes or no. Does the war on drugs have a component in the violence in Baltimore? Not just the violence, but is the war on drugs the root of the violence?
You know,
yes or no?
I don't understand your question. Say the question again.
Is the violence that's in Baltimore City, Chicago, New York, the war on drugs is the root of that violence, yes or no?
I don't think you can answer that question with a yes.
You could answer with a yes or no because
the cause of violence is very complicated.
The cause of violence, the murder and the death came from Richard Nixon in the 1960s with the Southern Strategy. All right? He put that in the community.
Shorty, look, I'm
happy
to talk to you. Look,
we are talking, but this is what you do. You're a politician just like everybody else. We ask simple questions in the hood. Yes or no?
If you think anywhere, in the hood or not, that what the cause of violence is a simple question, then you don't appreciate the cause of violence in Baltimore.
Oh, I appreciate the cause of violence because I participated in that violence. I participated in that violence. So I know about that violence.
You know, it's part of the poverty problem.
And where is the war on drugs? That's part of poverty. Exactly. When the Southern Strategy was created, it was created to create poverty in our community.
What do you think you and I disagree about?
We don't disagree. What do we disagree about? The deliverance of the message.
Do you think we should legalize marijuana?
We should legalize all drugs. We should eliminate
that's a good place where you and I disagree. I think we should legalize marijuana.
We should legalize everything.
I don't think we should legalize.
Why not? You got cocaine, but if I put a suit and tie on you, then you're gonna sell it to me as a pharmaceutical drug.
So I think actually the fact that we have done so badly with the regulation of painkillers is proof that we're not ready for a regulated drug market.
But you're gonna keep locking us up and giving white people treatment.
I don't think we should.
But you're not locking up white people. Other people of color, the way that you're locking up black people. And you was a state's attorney. You was what attorney? What were you, state attorney?
Head of major investigations in the
state. Yeah, and
we went after violent repeated criminals.
All right, and what year?
Victims.
What year?
I was in the state's attorney's office from 2011 to 2014.
Well, then you know all about me then.
I don't know.
In 2011, I put that toilet in front of the Towson courthouse, and it was about the racism in your courts. It was about the criminality in your court. It was about Baltimore. No, but it was about Baltimore City. I was a Baltimore City resident. Y'all always talk about Baltimore County, Baltimore County. That toilet represents the Democratic Party and the judges and the lawyers that Gov.O'Malley put in place in 2004.
You followed the campaign closely. Some of my views are views that...
No. This is where we're going to go. We passed the campaign. Like I said, you was in office 2011, correct? I'm a whistleblower, and I gave my whistleblower's complaint to Greg Bernstein in the state's attorney's office. Your office, your state's attorney's office, had evidence of my innocence and let me stay in jail during your watch, under your administration.
I don't know anything about your case.
Yeah, well, you said you was in the office, so you was in the house. That's just like the media. They didn't know nothing about the case, but you performed duties and told stories.
So I actually don't mind answering your questions because I think you care deeply about the city.
I love this city.
I know you do. That's why I actually don't.
I die for this city. Will you?
I will serve the city.
Will you die for this city?
I think that's a loaded question.
Well, the police came in my house in October 2015, 2010, October the 15th, after Governor O'Malley and Ehrlich had their debate. They put guns into my head. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. In the same evening, they came in my house. I called the state's attorney's office and they didn't do nothing. I called the police. October the 15th, 2010. All right? Greg Bernstein had this. Chief of police had this. And nobody did nothing about that. So if I say that I would die for this city, I would die for this city.
So do you think that we should legalize heroin and cocaine?
All of it. Okay. Give it treatment.
So that's a good one where...
Give it treatment. You got treatment anyway. White people get treatment, we get incarceration.
I think I'm a big advocate of treatment.
Put the treatment centers in your neighborhoods like they're in my neighborhoods.
Law enforcement assisted diversion, the LEAD program out of Seattle, you're familiar with it?
No.
It's a program where instead of taking people to jail, we take them to treatment centers. You can look it on our website.
I understand that part, but then again, if we advocating for that, then why don't we just say end the war on drugs and spend that money that we spending in the police, that the police is wasting, You got a police officer say end the war on drugs. Spend that money.
I think the victims of addiction deserve and need treatment.
Yeah, give them treatment because they don't need incarceration.
Prosecuting them will not work. I agree about
that. That's one that we agree. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You have a good day.
You too, sir.
We're going to still talk about the war on drugs. And you know what I appreciate about you? You don't run from a fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, Greg Bernstein, Shellenberger, all them other politicians, they cut and run when I put this camera on them because they don't want to answer them questions. But you answered them honestly. You was in the office when I filed my whistleblower's complaint. You know what I'm saying? So you are responsible because you was in the office. You bear the weight of that responsibility.
I will assume responsibility for the things that I was aware of.
You're right, because if Marilyn Mosby was stealing and you was in the office, you didn't know about it.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I was responsible for a unit that I'm very proud of.
All right. Well, like I said, I was a whistleblower, and y'all need to go look at my paperwork. All right, here go another question. Here go another question.
By the way, you and I also agree that the war on drugs has been a failure.
Yeah. So it was a war in the black community.
There's more that you and I was the biggest advocate. When did the mandatory minimum bill in Baltimore City get passed?
Shit, when they passed the crime bill. Yeah. Kwasi Mfume did it.
No.
I'm talking about Kwasi Mfume did that with the Bill Clinton crime bill. They pushed it again. They pushed it again with Governor O'Malley when he did stop and frisk and zero tolerance.
Back in the 80s.
Yes.
And the 90s.
Yes.
Frankly, Democrats and Republicans.
Because they both eat off the cash. They all both eat off that.
The Congressional Black Caucus, as
all
well
of them.
as
Yes.
Democrats
Yes.
in every part of the
yes.
city and every Republican
yes.
supported those things.
Yes.
Okay? So no one was innocent there. We all.
Yes.
I was a young man, but everybody in society.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
I'm 60. I've been in this since 1972.
So you were a grown man when that stuff happened. I was a child.
I was a victim of it.
So those things, which so many of us agree were mistakes, were done on all of our watch. Right?
No. What it is? All right. Now we know. You know about the corporation ALEC. ALEC, the corporation. ALEC. ALEC.
I don't.
All right. ALEC is a corporation that spends money in political processes and political parties to get these laws passed. That's why these laws was passed, and that's why they agreed on that. All right. Kwasi Mfume got paid. All commies got paid because they never say end the war on drugs, but when they said war on drugs, Bill Clinton admitted that it was wrong, but Bill Clinton ain't gonna say end it. You feel me? The Kennedys is dying off of heroin overdoses and all that in the Kennedy family. You know what I'm saying?
Can I give you my 2 cents on this?
Give me 3 cents.
In the 1980s, everybody was concerned about the rise of addiction rates and what crack and cocaine would do to inner cities in particular. Okay?
And they did it.
And for the longest time in human history, all of us thought, and I was a kid.
You know,
kid, but hold on.
Go ahead.
All of us, Republicans and Democrats, thought if you raise penalties, you will reduce crime. That's what they thought.
All right, here we go.
It happened with every other category.
In 1976, I was in the United States Navy.
Yep.
USS Mississippi, CGN-40. I was administrative assistant to the engineering officer, Lieutenant Commander Gautier. My captain was Peter Heckman.
Okay.
During 77, 78, 79, and 80, Iran-Contra was going on. Our government, senators, Republicans, and Democrats put them drugs in our streets, and I participated in that in the 1970s. You can look at Oliver North's testimony. You feel me? So that part right there with the government, I was a part of that. Then, in the killings and the murders in the streets, I did that too.
So, and I think, again, my point is, all of us were responsible for the failures of the 1980s. And when I say all of us, I mean Democrats and Republicans. It was all about money. Country, okay?
It was for money.
Fast forward to today.
Uh-huh.
I've written. I know you are very well read. I've written in the Baltimore Sun how I think mandatory minimums are a failure and a mistake. Okay?
So it's caused collateral consequences because you hurt families.
And yet Baltimore City, politicians that are in office right now are the ones that passed the first new mandatory minimum bill.
You know why?
Marilyn Mosby's office.
No. You know why? You know why? The state assembly and the judges, they have a surety bonds. You know what surety bonds are, right?
I do.
Your surety bonds are tied to the Alabama state prison industry. Alabama's #1 industry is the prison industry. Your surety bonds, the 401ks that y'all are attached to, so it makes an interest to y'all to lock people up.
Look, I can't speak for the people that supported mandatory minimums. Here's my impression. My impression is they advocated for mandatory minimums because they like blaming judges because they don't know who else to blame and they don't like blaming themselves.
It's all a cycle. You got judges, lawyers, and politicians that participated in this. It's like playing cards with free friends and a stranger. And I know because I've been watching. I'm a caterer. I've been in their houses. I work for David Irwin. I work for judges. I work for the Maryland black judges, the female judges. I've been in their houses when they was making these plans. I was in David Irwin's house when the judge said nigga so many times I had to lead a party. You understand?
You know, the thing I will tell you about this conversation, this is one of the very first times you and I have had a conversation longer than 30 seconds.
Because they only pay attention to 30-second clips.
No, but I'm just telling you, I actually enjoy these conversations more than you realize. I won't ever walk away from the conversation.
Being a man, a true measure of a man is how you stand in adversity and how you stand when you confronted with stuff. I don't run from nobody, and I appreciate people when they don't run from me.
You be safe, okay?
All right.
Good to see you.
I holla.
All right.
See where we at.